Welcome back everyone. In last class we discussed about properties of soil. In that properties we have two types, that is index properties and engineering properties. In index properties we discussed about water content, specific gravity, density. In that density, as I told, that core cutter method we discussed here only, but sand replacement method we will discuss in the offline mode. And after that we discussed uh, consistency limits of the soil. In that consistency limits of the soil, liquid limit, plastic limit and shrinkage limit we discussed. And after that, engineering property, permeability, compressibility and shear strength. Now we will come to the classification of soil. Classification of soil means we are going to give the name to the soil by seeing its behavior, not by seeing its color or texture. By seeing its behavior we are going to give one name to the soil, and the name, by seeing that name only we can understand some of the properties. Okay, and this classification we are making it based on particle size, and we are going to have one particular standard that if the particle size is greater than some standard, then that is called as something, and if the particle size is lesser than that, then that is called as something. Like that we will give some notations to that, and if a soil is obeying that particular standards, then we will give one particular name to that one. Then what is the purpose of doing this, or otherwise what is the definition of this classification is? It is an arrangement of a soil into a different groups such that the soil in a particular group behaves similar, will have a similar behavior. Okay, means a particular group of soil is there, that particular group of soil will behave in a particular way. Okay, that we are going to note down. Then the immediate next question will be, why we have to study this, or what is the purpose of studying this classification? Here I have made a few points here. The first one is its properties and behavior can be estimated, not that exactly we can find, but just by seeing that name we can estimate based on the experience gained from the similar soils elsewhere. For example, I am handling one project in America, and there I have gone through one particular soil. Let us consider that soil name is a silty sand, and I dealt with this soil, and after that I come to India and I got one more project, and here also I am dealing with the somewhat similar silty sand. Then I can estimate what are the properties this silty sand will have based on my experience which I got in America. Means I can just correlate these properties and these properties, but not exactly whatever the soil that American soil which has some property, the same property will not be there in India, but I can correlate something and I can estimate some of the properties here. And the second point is provides a common language between engineers dealing with the soil. Say for example, in the second I will give an example that someone is there in America and he is dealing with some of the soil, and I am in India and I am dealing with some of the soil. Then if this soil name is a clay sand and this soil is also a clay sand, then I can transfer my experience and my wrongs and rights to that person, and he can implement that, or otherwise he can share that one to us without bringing that soil to the India. Just by seeing the name of the soil, I can share some of the guidelines, or otherwise some of the hints, or otherwise some of the wrongs and rights that I can convey. Okay, therefore this classification become a common language between the two engineers. Then it is useful between the geotechnical engineers to exchange the information regarding the particular soil group. What I said here, that is the exchanging the properties. I know few of them and you know few of them, and both together all the properties becomes more. For example, I have two properties of clay soil, and someone experimented two properties of clay soil, and if we exchange this information, then we both will have four properties of clay soils. I have a 4 and he has a 4. right? Like that, one thing is that we can estimate, and based on the experience, and we can have a common language between the engineers, and we can exchange the information between the engineers. Now, based on the particle size, if I take a one individual particle, and based on that size of the particle, I can classify soil into four different categories. This is very important. That entire soil on this earth can be grouped into four categories, or otherwise, geotechnical who are studying the soil, they will call that soil in a four category. That is, one is a gravel soil, or a sandy soil, or silty soil, or clayey soil. Okay, this gravel soil and sandy soil together we will call it as a coarse grained soil. Okay, like that, this silty sand and clay sand we will call together it is a fine grained soil. Here the fine means the particles are very finer, and coarse means the particles are coarser. Do not confuse with the coarse aggregate and fine aggregate. That is a different topic that you should not bring it here and compare. This coarse meaning is different, this fine is meaning is different. That coarse and that fine is different. But the coarse in English is the bigger and fine in English is a finer. But how much bigger, how much smaller? The definition of bigger and smaller in soil mechanics is different. The definition of bigger and smaller in concrete is different, or in aggregates is different. Now this classification, we have two types of classification. That is, one is the MIT classification and Indian standard classification. This is based on particle size distribution. Means by collecting the simple one particles, we have our definitions, that is Indian standard and MIT standard. But altogether, this one and this one together, we got a two different type of classification system. That one system is called as a unified classification system, and second one is a Indian standard classification system. Okay, together by considering some of the parameters from the MIT, from the Indian standard, and with some scientists experiments and all, then we got a end result as a two type of classification. One is a unified classification, second one is a IS classification. These two I will discuss in the next class. Okay, in this class I am going to discuss about the textural classification of soil, but however this is not mentioned in the syllabus, that textual classification is there for the UG students, but it is very important and we need to understand what is this meaning of structural classification. And the heading is a classification, the chapter heading is a classification. Therefore, even though they ask some questions on textual classification, there is nothing wrong in that. Therefore, we should be very clear about this concept also. This textural classification means we are not considering the some particle size and all. Here we are seeing the texture of the soil and we are going to classify that. For that we have a two different approach here. One is a agricultural point of view and the second one is a engineering point of view. Because in agriculture also they come in contact with the soil, and they also want a classification because they want to grow the crops, and they check the suitability of the soil with respect to growing the crops. And we engineers, we build the buildings on the soil, and we want a soil to be good compared to with respect to the load carrying capacity and all. Therefore we also come in contact with soil, and agriculture people, they will also come in contact. But the classification what we do is purely based on engineering techniques, and classification they do, that is purely based on their properties, that is growing and all. Therefore I don't discuss about the agricultural point of view this textural classification, but I will consider this modified textural classification for engineering purpose. Okay, here we will have one pyramid here, and that pyramid will be, obviously will have a three edges, and the one edge I will consider it as a percentage of sand, and the second edge I will consider it as a percentage of silt. This you can see percentage of silt, this is a percentage of silt. Okay, and this slant edge I will consider it as a percentage of clay. Very important. And after that I will mark here from 0 to 100. You can see it here that, 1 minute, you can see it here 0 is there, and 0 and started 100, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. Like that we will end here sand, and after that we will start a clay silts 0 here, and that will end here somewhere, that this 100, and after that we will start with a clay 0 and we will end with the 100 here. Okay na? This one, like that we will map this one, and after that we will be having divided some grids we have drawn in this pyramid, and we will divide again further by putting a 70 and 20, 70 30 one line, and after that 80 20 ratios, and this is a 80 and this is a 20, this is a 80 and corresponding to that here 20, and this is 80 and this is a 20. Okay, and after that we will further divide, we will name them as a, if a point, after that I will show you, if the point falls in this graph then that is called as a clay, the point falls in this graph that is a sand, and the point falls in this graph that is called as a silt. And further division you can make like this one. Okay, here you can see this is a sandy clay because this region is somewhat sand, this is a sand, but this is pure sand, and this sand is towards the silt side, therefore this is a silty sand, and this sand is towards the clay side, therefore it is a clay sand. Understood? Sorry, this is not a clay, this is a sand, this portion is a sand up to here, it is a sand, and this is a pure sand, and near to the clay therefore clay sand, near to the silt therefore it is a silty sand. Like that silt also we have up to here only, up to here this is a silt. Okay, and here this is a silt, and this is a sandy clay silt, and this is a clay silt. You always remember that whenever it is said that clayey soil sand, clayey sand means sand proportion is more than the clay. Clay is a small portion in the sand, that is called as clayey sand. Like that silty sand, if I say silt proportion is a very small in the sand, original content is a sand only, but silt content is mixed to that one, therefore it is called silty sand. Like that silty clay means originally it is a clay only, but silt content is mixed in that clay, therefore it is a silty clay. Like that we have a clay, pure clay here, and towards the sand it is a sandy clay, and towards the silt it is a silty clay. Okay, now how to classify this one, how to understand this one, I will give an example. That is, let us consider I have a clay soil of about 38.5, and I have a 38 percentage, and I have a silt content at about 12%, and clay sand I have how much, 8 to 10, 1 for 50 it is over here, therefore 50, therefore all three together it is 100%. Now there is a one rule here, that rule says this way, this is that rule. Here it is said sand should go always in this direction, and clay should go always in a horizontal direction, and after that silt should go in this inclination. Okay, that I will write it here, clay will come like this, silt will come like this, and sand will come like this. This is a sand, this is a clay, and this is a silt. Okay, now the percentage is given that clay is 38%, and this is a clay, therefore here 38% will be 30, and this is a 40, 38% will be here. And the suggestion is, the guidelines is clay should go horizontal direction, therefore I will mark some of the points here. This is the horizontal dotted line, for 38% I will draw. Okay, but in this direction. Next I will draw 12% sand, silt, and silt is in the upward incline, therefore 12% silt means where it comes, this is a 10%, 20%, here it comes, then therefore I will draw in this way. It is somewhere here. Then at that point if you see, Obviously the sand is the 50% and the arrow is a downwards inclined, therefore it will come and join here. Therefore I got one point here. This point is in this region. This point is in this region, and this region is named as sandy clay. Therefore the classification of this soil is called as sandy clay. Sandy clay means clay is somewhat more, but sand is mixed to that. Sandy clay. Okay, now this is what the classification. There are some merits and demerits here. The merit is it is very easy to classify and name the soil, and the demerit is here the gravel part is ignored. The gravel part is ignored, and here, and another demerit is that here we are not getting any plasticity property, liquid limit property, consistencies and strength property. We are not getting anything here. Only we are giving some name to the soil. Therefore there are some demerits. Therefore we somewhat not using this textual classification, and we go to the some unified classification system. This I will explain in the next class. Thank you very much.